I have someone in my roastery. His name is Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry.
He came in as a cleaner.
Really?
Honest to God, I did not train him or anything. My team saw him interested. So without telling me anything, he started cupping with them. He started buying his own milk and he started steaming and everything.
Really?
Yes. When I went, and he was very shy to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
One of my staff members, when I wanted to open Lama, he told me, we have Jerry. I told him, Jerry? He said, yes. I said, call Jerry. He's a very shy person. He came in, I told him, do me a cappuccino. I didn't talk. Really.
That's such a you thing to do.
Yeah. He did the cappuccino for me. Second day, I told him, go to Lama.
Stop cleaning, go to Lama.
I changed his contract and he's getting a new contract end of the year.
Yeah, wow, that's exciting.
You never stop someone.
The introduction to regenerative coffee farming workshops are now available on demand in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. For coffee producers, the workshop is available for just $10, and for everyone else, it's $20. Led by our incredible professors, the workshop is packed with practical knowledge and strategies to help coffee farmers and the entire coffee industry adapt to the challenges of climate change, rising costs, and market demands. If you're a business owner, this workshop is a great and affordable way to inform your employees about the challenges ahead while also supporting Mapper Forward. Head to mapperforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the description to purchase the on-demand version and start your journey towards a more sustainable coffee future today.
Welcome to the Mapper Forward Middle East podcast, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 4 of a 5-part series with Saeed Al Blooshi from El Matador and Lama Cafe. We are talking about building a coffee business in the UAE. In this episode, we are having a conversation about the disconnect between owners and their staff. Now, folks, this region has a very interesting way that I guess the staffing here is all from outside of this country. So it very rarely you'll find locals actually working as baristas in cafes or as roasters in their roasteries if they don't own the roastery. And Saeed, in this episode, we want to talk a lot about why that's the case and what is some of the behaviors that leads to, because we do have some interesting things that happen in the industry here that I found out were quite unique to this part of the world. So where do you want to start the conversation about the disconnect between owners and their staff?
Okay. First of all, there is always a lack of communication and lack of investment in the people. You have to have a team that they know, from the waiter I'm talking, not only the barista, that they have to know about coffee. They have to have a charisma. They have to understand the customers when they come in. There is a big lack into that. One of the main things is there's no clear vision or purpose.
1,000%. I see, when you were saying in the other episode about how all people, like they're copying each other,
Yes.
that demonstrates a lack of vision, right? And a lack of purpose.
Some owners don't really clearly communicate why the cafe exists beyond making money. When staff don't understand the values and the brand identity or the long-term goals, how could they focus? They'll just do the minimum.
Yeah. Well, they don't know why they're there.
Yes, and this reflects the service and the experience in the cup.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
Poor training and growth opportunities. This is one of the biggest mistakes when hiring someone, it's not handing them an apron and expecting results. Coffee is a craft.
Mm-hmm.
It takes continuous training.
Mm.
Somebody must mentor them. There is always have to be a feedback. If the owner isn't investing in their baristas or giving them a path to grow, the disconnect becomes deeper. And the turnover becomes, you lose everything.
Yeah.
I have someone in my roastery. His name is Jerry.
Shout out to Jerry.
He came in as a cleaner.
Really?
Honest to God, I did not train him or anything. My team saw him interested. So without telling me anything, he started cupping with them. He started buying his own milk and he started steaming and everything.
Really?
Yes. When I went to, and he was very shy to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
One of my staff members, when I wanted to open Lama, he told me, we have Jerry.
Mm.
I told him, Jerry? He said, yes. I said, call Jerry. He's a very shy person. He came in. I told him, do me a cappuccino. I didn't talk. Here,
That's such
do me
a
a
you
cappuccino,
thing to
please.
do.
Yeah. He did the cappuccino for me. Second day, I told him, go to Lama.
Stop cleaning, go to Lama.
I changed his contract and he's getting a new contract end of the year.
Yeah, wow, that's exciting.
You never stop someone.
Mm. You have
I
to open
respect
doors for
him.
your staff.
Yes, I respect him and everything. End of this year, I'm selecting from 3 cafes that I supply for a long time. They're going to go with me to a trip to Ethiopia, to the origin.
Wow.
They're going to see what they're serving to the customers. From
How
where
exciting.
it comes. I'm doing this because I saw them how they started to grow during the years and they deserve that.
Yeah.
That's one part that is not clear. So I want them to see it from the beginning.
Can I ask, what does it feel like for you as an owner to first of all, to be able to do that kind of thing for your staff? Because it's expensive for a business to be able to afford this extra. This is not cheap for a business, first of all. So there's a sense of pride, I guess, for a business owner. But second of all, what's it like to observe your staff as they grow in this way?
I'm very proud of them.
Yeah.
Because I have everything available for them.
Yeah.
I tell them, read the books, new drippers, new filters, new coffees, listen what I'm doing, how do I cup? And when I started gradually with them, I saw them, they have that potential.
Mm.
So gradually, they're reaching, so they deserve everything. For me, it's not about money.
Mm.
You can't build your team buying people. Doesn't work like that.
No. Unfortunately, there is that culture here where people chase baristas that are well known on social media rather than chasing people who are highly skilled and investing in them. They're hoping that if they employ someone who has a following on social media, that person's going to bring business to the cafe.
That's true. Plus, when they will go to the origins and they see everything, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for them to have the full experience.
It will change their life.
Tomorrow, my staff, they will know how to talk to any client or customer who comes to the roastery. They will talk proudly about the coffee.
Mm.
Because they will say, Saeed took us. We saw what he's doing.
As a business owner, what does that feel like for you to watch that?
I'm happy.
Do you feel a sense of achievement?
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
And I always say this to myself, the pie is not for me.
It's for everyone.
There's always people don't understand that. And this is the next thing, that no respect for the front line.
Say more about that.
There's a lot of cases that happen behind the scenes that nobody knows about the barista. The barista is a human being too. He has his days. Maybe he couldn't handle the bad news. He's stressed. He doesn't feel that he delivered everything. His performance drops, and your business suffers. People don't understand this part. Like, let them breathe a little bit. I remember coffee shop. I'll say a coffee shop. Wasn't a coffee shop, but I'll say it's a coffee shop. When he opened, he closed the main road of Abu Dhabi, one of the main roads inside Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Like, he exploded in social media.
I think I know who this is. Go on.
No. Nobody knows.
Okay.
This was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Before COVID.
Okay.
So what happened is, he calls me after 2 days. He's telling me, nobody likes your coffee.
Yeah.
I did not know what happened, like how crazy it is. So I said, I'm coming. I went. MashaAllah, Tabarak ar-Rahman, the amount of cars was scary. He had one barista that he was self-taught.
Yeah. Ya salam.
Every 2 minutes, he's getting 5 orders. The guy was just grinding and pressing buttons, and then he fainted in front of me.
Allah.
The poor guy fainted.
Oh, that's a movie. That has to be a movie.
And I'm like, what did you do to him? It's working. I said, Habibi, this is not work.
This is punishment.
So when he got up, I told him, how many hours do you work? He said, I'm working like this 8 hours straight.
Yeah, wow. This is not okay.
I told him this is not fair, number one. Number two, when you see this amount of people, higher baristas are a little bit more professional than the one you have.
With experience.
With experience. Get them as a part-time. Handle your situation till everything cools off. Then we'll see what we can do. But right now, I cannot help you. You're in a situation that I don't know what to do.
Like, I've been in situations where the ticket machine is vomiting tickets. And we're 2 very experienced baristas on the machine, and we're pumping out like 1,000 espresso-based drinks in 5 or 6 hours. But we've done that for years. And so, like, at that point, we're very experienced. We know what's going on, and this is just day after day after day after day. This is what it's like, right? But when you're an inexperienced barista and that's what you're facing, haram, like, that's just cruel.
I felt really bad, and the owner told me, what can I do right now? I told you, get some baristas, handle your situation. What else? You want me to stand behind the machine?
Well, and this is the other interesting thing, is when the owner doesn't know how to pull the espresso shots, how to make the drinks, how to, serve customers, how to run the POS, all of that, they can't even jump in and help.
Here's the funny part. A lot of cafe owners choose their coffee because they think they have an experienced palate.
Yes,
they understand about coffee. Well,
Ya salam.
And from there, they think like when they talk to me, I'm like, because of this acidity, it's more acceptable. with the new generation, and this body is more acceptable with the old people. So I'm like,
This is a
I need
time
to
that you
open.
just quiet. You just sit and listen and
I believe ownership is not just giving orders.
Yeah.
You have to be a leader.
Yeah.
Your staff, they're a part of something very big. And this happens every single day.
And a lot of the staff that are here in the UAE, the countries that they come from, they will have never even heard of the term barista. It doesn't even exist in the countries that they come from, right?
This is what I wanted to say next, is the culture and the language barriers.
Yeah, this is huge. Huge.
Especially here in the UAE.
Say more about that.
Some owners, they make an effort of not understanding who are their staff. They just see how much is the salary, end of discussion. Not just managing them. A simple conversation could change a lot of things with them. You could do a cupping session with them, listen to them, put some energy into the team. Nothing, zero. And then when you have different baristas from different cultures and different nationalities, it's very hard for them to communicate together. And this is something else.
Do you know who's excellent at this? Is Raw. And because of this, we're actually having a series coming up with some of the staff from Raw. Because they have been through, like, Matt and Kim are very focused on building culture and understanding the cultures that their team come from. And this is a really important part of growing the business so that they can help their staff grow with them. And the staff, I've been involved in some training sessions with them. And I wanted to talk to them on the podcast so that I can get into the heads of employees who are working for people where there's a great culture. Because I don't see that very much here.
It's very hard. Raw Coffee, don't forget they're the first people.
They're the OGs.
Yes, and everybody learns from their mistake.
Yes.
Yes.
Like
when you have mentors, you have people to talk to, it's a completely different.
Yeah.
And they have that, and their perspective is different. Plus, almost every day they're in the company.
They're there every day. But another person, your mentor, Mir'i, his staff speaks super highly of him. He's very involved. He calls them his colleagues.
He's a leader.
Absolutely.
And I respect that a lot.
Absolutely. A telltale sign for me of a business that's experiencing exactly what you're saying about this lack of understanding of the staff is when I go to a cafe and the staff don't understand me. If the staff can't understand simple questions in English, if I ask them about, can you tell me what the beans are? And they'll say, we have Ethiopia and Colombia. And I say, is it a natural or a washed? And they don't know how to answer that question, right? What are we going to say, Saeed?
Okay. Some cafe owners in the UAE, they own more than a branch. So what do they do? This is one of the things that I've seen.
Yeah.
They will hire a very experienced person to calibrate and to do the perfect cup, to teach all the other baristas just to copy paste what to do.
Right.
But there's no knowledge behind it. They're like robots.
Right.
They just press on everything, end of story. But as you said, is it a natural? Is it a wash? Is it anaerobic? What is it exactly? They don't know. And when they talk to you, they'll tell you, You want Ethiopian, Brazil, Ethiopian.
That's
End of
it.
story. Where's the excitement about coffee? Where's
There's
Peru?
not. Yeah.
Where's Bolivia? Where's
Yeah.
Nicaragua? Where's
Kenya.
Kenya?
I struggle to find Kenyans here, and I love Kenyans. I struggle to find Kenyans.
Uganda. Respect for Uganda.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
Some people, they're afraid. And the biggest issue is, see, now I bought coffee from Rwanda.
Yeah.
Out of all the coffee shops that I supply, how many of them will buy Rwanda?
How many?
One.
And what's different about that cafe?
He listens to me.
Okay. So it's open-mindedness.
Yes. The rest, no. My customers, they want Brazil and only Brazil.
You can't invest in education or
No.
have a conversation through social media. Do some marketing.
Nothing. Zero. I want Ethiopia, Hambela. Habibi, Ethiopia is not Hambela.
In Saudi Arabia, though, they want is Harar.
See? So, I don't know from where, they get this kind of knowledge, and they say, we just want this,
Yeah.
Understand what's going on in the coffee industry. Do a cupping session. Learn.
Yeah, wow. Speaking about vibes, we have one episode left of this series. And this, I think, is going to be the most fun of all of them. The conversation has been fantastic so far. But in the final episode of this series, we're going to talk about the role that trends are playing in the coffee industry. And if there's anywhere in the world that is driven by trends, it is the UAE. So maybe Saudi Arabia as well. But join us, folks, for the final episode of this series in the next episode. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day.
This episode is part of a 5-part series produced by Mapper Forward. Check the full playlist and guest details in the show notes, as well as how you can support our work in the coffee industry. Become a premium YouTube subscriber, explore our Patreon and any brands we've partnered with to bring you this podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us grow our audience.